which brings us to Matt Murray. Game 1, what do you think?
If the Leafs are going to allow an East-West, I can't think of a more horrible thing for Matt Murray. Matt Murray's a shot blocker who has to come out, be big, and just hope that his ass is covered off the posts. What you saw was anything but. I thought he was good the first 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah, the play worked in a way that it kind of hit him, right? He was in the right spots. As you mentioned, big guy, good angles. Mostly.
The Cole Caulfield coming down, he for whatever reason, he was worried about the pass or backdoor. You just have to play Cole Caulfield there and come out and be as big as you can.
That glove of Murray's has been an issue for years.
Try to take. He was just too far back in.
Yeah.
So then there's not one guy I liked. He's not certainly the first finger I would point at in this hockey game.
I am curious to see if Matt Murray makes some sort of change because he's so wide. He's so low and wide that he can't, as you mentioned, east to west, he can't get across the net without doing a couple shuffles because he can't make one good, strong push. I guess this low stance, I'm not a goalie coach, but I guess that puts his glove lower because everything comes down a little bit. What's curious to see, though, is, the goalie coach he has now, John Elkin, is a guy who has preached this sort of low style of play and wide. And I think Curtis Sanford, their goalie coach for the team, does not like it as much. I'm curious to know if he makes any sort of adjustment. Just reading guys on Twitter who are goalie guys, Woodley and McKenna and whatever, they think it looks like Murray of old when he wasn't playing well, and that concerns them. And that concerns me as someone while talking about the Leafs.
Sammy?
Me as well, Justin. Listen, I agree with you guys. I thought I was incredibly encouraged for the first 25 to 30 minutes of that game by Jack Campbell. God.
We'll get to his first 3 shots on goal last night. Don't worry.
No, I was encouraged by Matt Murray. I thought he looked good. I thought he looked big. I thought he looked squared and everything. But, the athleticism is a thing, right? It's not like you said, Kipper, the East-West stuff is not what his strength is. No. And I'm not I don't think he was at fault really on most of the goals. I guess the Caulfield one, but that guy rips it. But one of those ones you'd like a save if you're going to break it down. And the game, the one that went ahead and make it 3-2, bounces off Muzzin's skate, lands right on a stick in the slot. It's a goal, but you just need 1 or 2 saves. And how many times have we talked about that? Last year, we feel like we said that every game. Where it's you could have used a save here, you could have used a save there. Now we're starting this over again.
When they scored, the Leafs scored to make it 3-3. I thought of the Caulfield goal, and I was like, this reminds me of last year with Campbell when he wasn't playing well, where the Leafs are going to bail out their goaltender, and we're not going to have to nitpick each and every goal because they find a way despite imperfect goaltending. But if you have better goaltending in that game, I don't know. I don't think it's the game's won, more or less.
There wasn't a guy to be found that you could say was
on the Leafs.
Mitch Marner probably looked as close to what we expect out of him than anyone else.
You know what?
That setup to bunting was off the charts.
Didn't like Tavares? I liked Tavares last night.
I thought Tavares was fine too.
Too many giveaways, boys. I'm sorry, but he gives the puck away. Many turnovers. Get Milk off and put on Sarah Lee last night. Because they were turnover machines.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That took me a second. I got you now. Yeah. Thank you,
I thought Tavares was he moved well though. I was
Pillsbury?
encouraged.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Engvall, I thought was okay.
Did you see Engvall?
Okay.
Even on the Monahan goal, you talk about a bad break. Go watch the battles lost along the wall from Kampf, and then the puck comes back to I think Harris. Go watch Engvall get to the point.
Yeah.
He's 8 feet away from him, and he starts going into the double flamingo. I don't know. He thinks he's going to block it. Yeah. Just get on your horse and go hard to the guy.
Yeah.
Is that old? They don't do that anymore?
Well, what they're supposed to do is get into the lane first. You want to move laterally first, then up and out to the point. So you get in the lane one way or the other.
Get in the lane. Exactly.
Yeah. a big concern when I don't know if we actually went through the process of like, what is your worst case scenario for this Leafs team? How does it all fall apart if it were to go bad? Last night, there was a scenario that made itself clear, and that's that the D has aged quicker than you expect. Because Jake Muzzin, I thought, moved like, a 15-year-old golden retriever trying to climb upstairs. It was not nimble. Giordano took a penalty. You guys agree that first penalty is boots related, no?
Yes.
100%. Don't have the foot speed to
You're
get
not gonna
back.
be able to pivot. You're just
I need to cheat a little bit.
Yep.
And he got caught.
Got caught. I thought Hall, Hall could be on the wrong side of things too. He's in his 30s now, I think. Going back on pucks, I didn't think he was great. Sandin looks like he hadn't been in training camp. Like the worst case scenario is that the D looks like immobile or older, and I thought they looked really bad. A really bad start for the Leafs D last night. Outside, I thought Riley and Brody were a fine pair.
Yeah, and like I know it's obvious caveat that it's all one game, and we can get bent out of shape about it. But I do legitimately think that the way that Jake Muzzin and Justin Hall, but specifically Muzzin, who plays a massive role in this team, I thought the way he looked last night was a massive red flag. Like, I was just concerned pretty much the whole night with him.
Some of the concerns last season have already crept into game one.
Yeah.
So how quickly can Muzzin turn this thing around? Does he need time? Does he need rest? Does he need to think that he's not the player he used to be?
It's a scary thought for the Leafs here. Because we've talked about it. He's an important contributor.
That's
they
fine.
need him.
If I'm not mistaken, that's 5'9" on the books. 5'6", 2'5" for this year
and next
year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
no move trade or no move clause.
No move clause till July 1st. Then it goes to 10.
Oh, does it?
I think so.
Oh.
But by then it's too late to.
Oh yeah, no, you're talking this year.
This year.
The problem is Jake Muzzins are impossible to find, and teams don't give them up. Like you cannot. I understand.
May give them up.
Well, they
you
give them
just
up
have
now.
to pay a hefty price.
Well, but I just mean like if you want a young version of him, a guy who's effective as good Jake Muzzin.
Why do you think Buffalo paid Samuelson over $4 million for 7 years?
Just get a guy 6'4", 230 who plays physical and say, okay, we want that. You know who I miss, boys? I miss the Boosh.
Yeah.
Labushkin.